was a guy, Bob Knight, obviously, that played at Ohio State in the 60s. In fact, he rode the bench for those teams in Columbus. He ended up, that team that he was on went 78-6 during his 3 years at Ohio State. He went to West Point when he was 24. He coached Krzyzewski there, and he was the head coach of the last team to go undefeated in men's college basketball, the 76 Indiana team. He's the last coach to win the gold medal with college athletes in '84. He won a gold medal at the 79 Pan Am Games, 3 NCAA titles, 4-time National Coach of the Year. He retired with the most wins of all time in 2008, and has since been passed, obviously. He became the youngest coach to ever notch career wins number 200 through 800, and he was just unbelievable at manipulating teams' weaknesses and mistakes, finding what they did wrong and what they did poorly and taking advantage of it, and letting guys gel as a unit, play the best defense you ever seen on a college basketball floor. The way they won championships was unbelievable, and I was at the one against Syracuse. It was crazy. And he has meant a lot to me. I was very intimidated by him when I went there as a kid. I was fascinated by him, doing his press conferences, watching him, frankly, cuss out reporters and TV people, radio people, writers. There were very few writers that he cooperated with. One of them was Bob Hamill, who wrote down there in Bloomington. And I never forget his name because he was one of the guys that Knight actually liked and dealt with. He was abusive toward some people in Indianapolis, people that would come over from Louisville. He was very hard to deal with. He was angry. He was argumentative. He was mean. He was violent. He was verbally abusive. But that's what kind of made him so fascinating to me. To watch this guy, to watch this bombastic, crazy, smart, genius coach who he had all the credentials and all the wins and all the championships and all the gold. And I mean, what didn't he do? What didn't he accomplish? And there's like 2 or 3 players, Shep, in the history of his career that have ever said a bad word about him. I mean, there's a couple. There literally is on one hand, the amount of players that have spoken badly about him. And there's thousands that have spoken highly of him. So the good outweighs the bad. I mean, you got a few guys that can't stand him. I think Delray Brooks probably, Neil Reed. There were guys that didn't like him. Yep. He loved the military. He loved Patton. He's a guy, he was very learned. I've never seen a guy personally hit a golf ball further than him. He was a 6'6", 240, 50-pound guy that could just pound the golf ball like you've never seen. He was a free thinker, free spirit. He was insane. And to be around him, it was probably, like for me, it was probably like somebody being around Mozart or Beethoven. For me to be around a guy like that, it was, people can think whatever they want about what I'm saying right now. I could care less. For me, that's what it was like. He was so different, so unique, he was a maverick, a titan. He was bigger than life. And with everything I saw him do and accomplish, I was there the night he threw the chair. I've been with him on the road when he threatened to make the team walk home from like places that were 4-hour flights away. He literally threatened to make them walk home. I remember several times him saying that if they didn't beat Purdue, they were going to walk home from West Lafayette. It's like at least an hour and a half drive. Doing the speed limit. That's a long, cold walk through the farmlands of Indiana. But watching him coach and mentor these kids, making them go to class, literally making them go to class. If they didn't go to class, they never played. They were done. If he caught you not going to class, you were finished. You went to class when you played for Bob Knight, and you got your degree. And isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day? And they never caught Bob Knight cheating. No NCAA violations. How do you like them apples? And I think that's the same thing for Coach K. He learned from Knight. He doesn't cheat. And look what happens with Calipari and all the others. They all cheat. Bob Knight never cheated. Coming up, Tim Brando. We're going to talk college football. We'll take your calls as well. The championship games are all Saturday. All my picks are up in college and pro football and top pick packages. Get them at FerrallOnABench.com. We got another hour to go. Are you with us tonight?